Do you want to know how to use every evolution in the new VGC Regulation H? Watch the video to find out. Alright, so first we have Flareon. So not really much reason to use Flareon, but if you really want to, you can use it as a guts attacker. Although I would say it's kind of mediocre, there are definitely like better options, like Ursaluna, obviously. So take note that it is a toxic orb and not a flame orb, like guts users usually want to go for. So obviously we have the facade for every guts attacker. That's like a given standard attack. With the Terra normal to boost out those facades. Flare Blitz is just like a good standard fire stat option, and quick attack can really like clean up games for you. Obviously protect is a given, and the EV spreads will just depend on your team. So to deal with Flareon's melee speed, you could go for Trailblaze. Obviously Trailblaze is an option like a grass coverage against like some walls like Gastrodon, etc. It's water and ground types. So Trailblaze, which will raise speed, can help deal with this kind of awful speed stat right here. Well, I wouldn't say it's awful, but it's just kind of middling, so that you're not fast enough to be like a super fast bulky attacker, like a super fast strong attacker, but you're also not slow enough to kind of take advantage of Trick Room. Next we have Vaporeon. Vaporeon is basically just a bulky attacker. It's here to just click Muddy Water. This lowers accuracy. It's basically just a good option to stay on the field for a very long time, deal out like some damage with Muddy Water, but also keep rolling for those accuracy drops. So it's quite a disruptive attacker. It plays a more disruptive role. As you can see, Haze, you can haze out and wall out Dondozo and Archelodon, especially with the Terra Grass. So the Terra Grass, basically with Dondozo, you can haze out the commander boosts and wall out wave crashes and stuff like that with the water. And with Terra Grass, you can deal with Archelodon's Electro Shot, which will usually take you out with the water type if you didn't Terra. So you can wall the Archelodon and haze out all the stamina boosts just in case, Mousehole tries to go for a population bomb or something like that into self-prod those stamina boosts. Yawn is just to put pressure on switches. This is basically Vaporeon just serves a very anti-setup role. Next we have Jolteon. It's a good speed control option with the Electro Web. As you can see, this at max speed is 200 base speed. At max speed is 200 speed, which outspeeds quite a lot of the format. Basically outspeeds everybody except for I believe it's Dragapult. So you can really get those fast Electro Webs. It's a good switch into Electro Shot on Archelodon, with that Void Absorb. Gives you Electro Immunity, very useful against rain teams. Especially with Thunderbolt, you can kind of take out Pelipper. And you can stop that Pelipper Arch Core really well. And the Thunder Wave, you can see the Thunder Wave here. You basically outspeed Mousehole, so if you encounter... This is like an anti-rain Pokemon where you encounter Mousehole that's trying to self-prod the stamina with Population Bomb, you can go for those Thunder Waves and roll the paralysis chances. It's very disruptive, speed control. You can get crucial Thunder Waves on Pokemon very fast attackers like Sneasler. So you're basically stopping these fast threats. The Terra, you can really go for any Terra you want. I would recommend a defensive Terra like Steel or basically any kind of Terra you want. Maybe Grass, yeah. We'll go for Grass here. Next we have the Leafeon. Leafeon serves its purpose as a physical sun attacker. Obviously with the Chlorophyll in Sun, you can double your speed. Now this set is a Swords Dance set. Basically with one Swords Dance and in the Sun, you can sweep quite a lot of the format. It's really very dangerous when you get set up. Solar Blade is your standard grass type stab on Sun. Obviously it has no charge in sunlight. 125 base power, quite powerful. But if you're really worried about rain kind of cancelling out your charges, and your sun team has problems against Pelipper or like other weathers, you can obviously go for like Leaf Blade. You can go for Leaf Blade or Bullet Seed or something like that. So knock off just one of Leafeon's like good physical attacking moves. Obviously gets rid of the item. Very useful. We have the Focus Sash to give you 1 free sword stance, and the Terra Ghost is basically to gain an advantage over Sneasler. You can stop the fake outs from breaking your sash, and stop them from stopping your sword stance. And against Sneasler, it resists the poison stab and is immune to the fighting stab, so Sneasler will be kinda it'll be very hard for Sneasler to deal with this Leafeon. And obviously, normally Sneasler will be one of the main threats that will kind of stop your Leafeon, so the Terra Ghost is definitely very useful. Alright, we have Espeon. Espeon is one of the more offensive-oriented evolutions, and I will say it does quite well as an offensive attacker. We have the Choice Specs. This is a Choice Specs variant, but you can go for Life Orb or like any other damage boosting. Maybe you could go for like Twister Spoon, anything that will boost its damage. So basically, this is a size spammer. Espeon is like a pretty good size spammer. You can see that that's a very high speed stat. So if you want to go for a fast size spam, Espeon is the way to go. We have Dazzling Gleam, standard fairy coverage. Shadow Ball is interesting. Shadow Ball is one of Espeon's best coverage moves. It will help you deal with that Go. And obviously other psychic types like that will resist Espeon's psychic stab. And you can Terra Blast and choose any kind of Terra you want, or you could go for one of the many other special moves that Espeon gets, like Hyper Voice, Power Gem, those kind of coverage. You basically just pick and choose your coverage moves in a Choice Specs variant. Obviously with Life Orb you can use Protect. With Twister Spoon you can also use Protect. So just keep that in mind. Next we have Umbreon. Umbreon is that pretty like support oriented evolution. It's basically like serve a disruptive purpose. Obviously we have Snarl to lower special attack. So this is good against like those super strong special attackers in the format like Archaludon and like Ursaluna Blood Moon, and yeah, it basically stops special attackers. Obviously Snarl is not as useful as it was before. Especially Umbreon had good use in Regulation G, where it was kind of a wall to the Cataract Shadow, and with Snarl it's really quite threatening, but you can still find purpose in Regulation H. Yawn again for that sleep pressure. Taunt is like fast taunt. Although I would say this is quite slow. Taunt is good for like stopping Trick Room, kind of anti-Trick Room. Just a good supporting move in general. We have the Citrus Berry just to make Umbreon's survivability kind of go up. Here's another set just for you to reference some supporting moves. You can use Foul Play also. You can opt for Foul Play if you don't really want to use Snarl. Second to last, we have the Glaceon. And these are two variants of Glaceon, the Assault Vest and the Choice Specs. Obviously, this is just a very good attacker in Snow, one of the main Snow attackers, because of the two abilities that benefit really a lot from Snow. On the Assault Vest variant, basically all you want to do is make Glaceon as bulky as possible, so good bulk, good special attack. Especially with that, that colossal special attack. You can basically stay on the field for a very long time and dish out damage, cause especially with the defense boost on eyesight from Snow, you can kind of be really tanky, and the Assault Vest will just cover your special defense side. So you basically shore up both your defense stats, become really bulky. You can just eat attacks and deal out damage. Like Blizzard, the more you stay on the field, the more you can roll for that freeze chance in Snow. So yeah, it's a very useful bulky attacker. Terra Fire is a standard defensive Terra. I know you might be like confused seeing like these 4 ice moves here, but Glaceon has quite a lot of coverage moves you can choose from, so just pick and choose depending on your team. Basically, depending on your team comp, you can decide what coverage moves you want to run. Obviously, Icy Wind, Freeze Dry, those are really good ice type moves. The Ice Body, on this like more tanky variant, the Ice Body will heal your Glaceon in snow. So it just basically increases survivability, make you last longer to dish out more damage and kind of roll for those Blizzard chances. Choice Specs variant is a bit different. As you can see, the move choice is all like really hard hitting coverage moves. Blizzard is a given, you know, just roll for those freeze chances, very annoying. Good like Ice type Hurricane. The Terra Blast with the Terra Fighting, with this Choice Specs variant and the 252 special attack, you can kind of one-shot Archelodon. This is a very good Archelodon counter in snow, especially with like Archelodon kind of threatening a lot of snow teams with that Flash Cannon. Alluring Voice is actually very interesting. You can go for Alluring Voice on the kind of setup sweepers like Scale Shot Dragonite or like self-prod Stamina Archelodon. You can use those confusion to like kind of stop their sweep a little bit. Shadow Ball, again, just like just now, good against Goldengo, and you can kind of one-shot Goldengo with that. The Snow Cloak is actually interesting. Instead of using Ice Body, which you don't really need the health, what the point of this Glaceon set is to hit hard and basically hit hard and fast. So this Snow Cloak will help you kind of have a chance to avoid those like attacks that are gonna take you out. It's much more useful than the Ice Body in this scenario. Finally, we have the Sylveon, arguably the best Eeveelution. This is a very standard set. If you've played VGC for a while in Scarlet and Violet, you will recognize this. You have obviously the Throat Spray with the Hyper Voice, Fairy type Hyper Voice actually with the Pixelate. So you basically have access to those stab Fairy Hyper Voices, deal out a lot of damage, good, very bulky, good Fairy attacker. Obviously not max speed. This Sylveon can really work well in Trick Room. It's a good Trick Room attacker. Terra Blast with the Terra Fire is basically to help you with those steel types. Like pesky steel types like Goldengo. You can really wall Sylveon's like powerful Hyper Voices. So the Terra Blast is really helpful. And outside of Terra Fire, Terra Blast is also a normal move, so it will turn to Fairy type, and it can be used as a good alternate to Hyper Voice, you know, if you're dealing with White Guard users. Quick Attack. This is kind of a weird move to have on Sylveon. I wouldn't recommend this in most cases. You can use like Dazzling Gleam or Draining Kiss or Light Screen or Moonblast, Helping Hand, Fake Tail. So many good moves. Calm Mind also, in fact. But Quick Attack, this is a very niche usage scenario where besides Dragon Ball with a weakness policy, as you can see, Sylveon has a really not that high special attack, it's not that high attack stat. So you can prod the weakness policy on some dragon types with the Quick Attack, which is obviously turned into Fairy type by Pixelate, and you can, it's a good self-prod of the weakness policy. I hope this video can help you use your Eeveelutions better. Thank you for watching.